Droop down, bend down. She bent down the corners of her mouth, okay, and her lower lip bent forward. She makes crying face. Why she makes such a face? Because she is crying. When father is telling her a story that there is no one who can play with Roger skunk because Roger skunk smells so bad, so she started crying, and father is also tracing with a forefinger along the side of her nose. Means father is checking with his forefinger along the side of her nose what? The course of one of Roger skunk's tears. Means she starts crying, so father is checking with a forefinger whether she is crying or not. Won't he see the owl? So suddenly she asks in a high and faintly roughened voice. She asks in a high and rough voice, Father, won't he meet the owl? Sitting on the bed beside her. Father is sitting on the bed next to her. Jack, father felt the covers tug as her legs switched tensely. So she becomes so tense. So she she changed the position of her legs because she is so tense. And father feels the bed cover is pulling. The bed cover is pulling because she is changing the position of her legs. He was pleased with this moment. But now father is happy. Joe is sad because there is no one who plays with Roger skunk. But dad is very happy. Why dad is happy? Because he thinks he was telling her something true. Father is thinking that this is something she should know. This is the reality of life. And his daughter must know the reality of life. She must face the realities. Okay? And had no wish to hurry on. So father is not in a hurry to finish the story. But the downstairs a chair scrapped. Then suddenly downstairs a chair moved. Okay, he listened to the sound of scrapping chair and he realized he must get down to help Claire. Claire is his wife. So he thought that his wife is painting the living room woodwork. Woodwork is furniture. So his wife is painting the living room woodwork all alone, and he realized that he must go downstairs at once and help her. But he is helpless because his daughter is not sleeping and he has to make her sleep. So he continues his story. Well, he walked along very sadly. He is Roger Skunk. Roger Skunk is walking, he is very sad and came to a very big tree. Okay, and in the tip top is right over the tree. Top of the tree was an enormous is huge, big, wise old owl. So there, tip top of the tree, there was an enormous, wise old owl. Good, Mr. Owl, Roger Skunk said. All other little animals run away from me because I smell so bad. So now Roger Skunk, he tells his problem to old wise owl. Okay, and what is his problem? He smells very bad and that's why he does not have any friend. So when he said so that I smell so bad, the owl says, oh, so you do? You actually smell very bad, very, very bad. How can I help you? Roger Skunk said. And he tried very hard. When owl says you smell very, very bad, Roger Skunk started crying very hard this time. The wizard, Joe shouted. The daughter shouted, wizard, the wizard. She knows that now father will definitely say that Roger Skunk will go to wizard, and sat right up. She becomes so excited and sat right up, and a little golden book spilled from the bed. A little golden book fell down from the bed. Now Joe, so she is interrupting her father again and again. Okay, so this time father says, Joe, daddy is telling the story. Father says that I am telling you the story. Do you want to tell daddy the story? Do you want me to tell the story? So Joe says, no, you, me. Father, no, I don't want to tell you a story. You, me. You, me means you tell me a story. Then father says, okay, then lie down and be sleepy. Okay. and then tried to be sleep. All right. Her head relapsed onto the pillow and she said, out of your head. Her head relapsed. Relapse is back to the position. So she again lie down and put her head onto the pillow and said, out of your head. Out of your head is here. Continue the story, father. Father says, well, the owl thought and thought. Okay, now the owl, he's thinking how to, sort out his problem. At last he said, so after thinking so much, he comes to a conclusion. Why don't you go see the wizard? Why don't you meet the wizard? Daddy, what? Now again, daughter interrupts her father. Now what kind of a question she asked? Father, are magic spells real? Are magic real? This was a new phase. Okay, this is very important line, student. This was a new phase just this last month, a reality phase. Okay, this was a new phase, a reality phase. What kind of a reality phase? Okay, earlier Jo listens to story very peacefully. Okay, she never interrupts her father during the story session. Okay, because she does not ask question. All right. So, but now she has grown older. Okay, so now when she has grown older, she has started asking questions now. Okay, so every time she interrupts her father and she asks new question, so that makes her father irritated also. So this is called a new phase, a reality phase. Okay, earlier she never asked any question, because what happens when you tell a story to a very little child, he will listen to whatever you will say, he will believe whatever you will say. But when children grows up, okay, they start asking questions. Okay, they wonder, how does this thing happen? All right, so the same is happening with Jo. When he told her spiders eat bugs, when father says that spiders is makadi, they eat bugs, bugs is insects, right? Spiders eat bugs. So she turned to her mother. She cross-checked this with her mother and asked, do they really? I mean, she's cross-checking that, mother, do spiders really eat bugs? And when Claire told her, and when mother told her that God was in the sky and all around them, she turned to her father. So now she again cross-checked and she, turned to her father. I mean, she is not convinced. So when father says something, she goes to mother. When mother says something, she goes to father to double check the things, whether it is right or wrong, and insisted with a sly. Sly is mischievous. With a mischievous yet eager smile. Okay, she is not convinced, right? With a very mischievous and eager is very curious smile, she asked, is he really? Is he really means, is God really exist? They are around us. So father says, Jack answered curtly. Curtly is clearly. Very smartly Jack answers, yes, they are real in stories. Okay. She had made him miss a beat in the narrative. Okay. Every time she asks questions, so every time she interrupts her father. So father miss a flow in the story. Okay. The owl said, go through the dark woods. So now owl suggested Roger Skunk, do one thing, you just go through the dark woods. Woods is jungle. Go through the jungle and under the apple trees, okay, into the swamp. Swamp is a muddy, wet area. Okay, when under the apple trees, into the swamp again, muddy and wet area, over the creek. So the moment father says over the creek, then again Jo asks question, father, what's a creek? Then father replied, a little river. Creek is a little river. Okay, so over the creek is over the little river, there will be the wizard's house. Okay, so there is a wizard house. So Roger Skunk, go to the wizard house and he will definitely get your problem sorted out. And that's the way Roger Skunk went. So now Roger Skunk went ahead, and pretty soon he came to a little white house, and then he reached a little white house and he rapped on the door. Rapped is knocked on the door. Okay, strike on the door or rapped on the door. Okay, knocked on the door. Jack rapped on the windowsill. Windowsill is window, glass. Jack father, he also rapped is again knocked on the windowsill. Okay, when he's telling a story, to add the little effects to the story, okay, to make story little interesting, what does father do? He himself knock on the windowsill, and under the covers, under the bed cover, George's tall figure clenched in an infantile thrill. Infantile is childish. Thrill. She become excited. Okay. And her tall figure clenched. Clenched is the figure becomes closed in a thrill. Okay. And then a tiny little old man came out. Okay. Now the tiny little old man came out of that white house. Okay, with a long white beard. He has a white beard, long white beard, and a pointed blue hat. Okay, he's wearing a pointed blue hat. I'll show you the picture. And said, and then what does he say? This is the wizard. You can see, this is the wizard. All right, a long beard and a pointed hat he is wearing. Okay, and then he said, what shall you want? What do you want? You smell awful. So the wizard said to Roger Skunk, what? You smell awful. Awful is very bad, something very awkward. The wizard's voice was one of Jack's own favorite effects. Okay, when father tells story to his daughter, and when he talks about this character, which character? Wizard's character. Okay, so father produced different kind of voice. Okay, while mimicking this wizard's character, he produced different kind of voice. He did it by scrunching up his face. Okay, when he produced the wizard's voice, he's scrunching up his face. Scrunching is he makes his face very tight. Okay, and somehow whining through his eyes. Whining through is and make loud voice. Okay, through his eyes, which felt for the interval roomy. And when he does so means when he produced this kind of a sound of wizard, when he was playing the character of wizard, he is mimicking the wizard, his eyes becomes watery. Rumi means watery. Okay, he is crunching up his face, he is tightening the muscles of his face and making a sound. Whining is making a sound, so his eyes becomes watery. Rumi is watery. He felt being an old man suited him. Father is also liking this character. He thought that this old man, this wizard character suited him a lot. So it was his favorite character. Wizard was his favorite character. He also likes this character while telling a story. I know it, Roger Skunk said. And I know it. Why does he say I know it? I know that I smell very bad, and all the little animals run away from me. That's why nobody plays with me. The enormous wise owl said you could help me. So now I approached enormous wise owl, and he suggested me to come to you and said that you could definitely help me out. So that's why I'm here. Well, maybe. हो सकता है मैं तुम्हारी मदद करूं. Come on in, come inside. Don't get too close, but don't come too close, okay? Because you smell bad. Stay away. Now inside. Jaw. There were all these magic things, all